I have dry, sensitive skin, and my goal is to use tretinoin without any extreme peeling, flaking, redness, or irritation. We'll see how that goes. I have tried tretinoin a couple of times and bailed out immediately, sometimes after just one single use, because my skin looked like shoe leather, or felt so dry and irritated. I felt like I ruined my skin barrier, and then I had to work to get it back. I'm 61 years old, dry, sensitive skin. I'm pretty happy with my skin. I have lines, I have hyperpigmentation, but I am at ease with my aging face. I do face yoga and red light therapy to look as good as I can, and now I want to add tretinoin because I have some kind of funny little texture around my chin I would like to clear up if I can. Since I haven't had very good luck in the past, my friend Nina, who's an esthetician, recommended that I go through a whole tube of Differin before I even think about opening this tretinoin. So Differin is adapalene. It's a more mild retinoid compared to tretinoin, and it can help my skin to sort of ease into retinoids. I'm using it 3 times a week, so I put it on, I skip 2 nights, and then I put it on again. I'm only using half the recommended amount, and I'm using the sandwich method, so I have moisturizer under and over the Differin. And it still penetrates. So that extreme flaking and irritation is a side effect. It doesn't mean it's not working if you don't get those side effects. And I have proof that this is penetrating my moisturizer and working. So if I have to keep doing that the whole time, I will. I really do not want to deal with irritated red skin. I've used this 5 times already, and what I have seen so far is the surface of my skin is exfoliating very gently. There's no noticeable flakes. And I find this out like when I sit down to do my face yoga, I put my oil on and I start my face massage, and then little particles of dead skin just start rolling off. And that's how I'm exfoliating my face. And the 4th time that I used this, I put it on, and about a half hour later, my skin started to feel hot and red. And it wasn't very painful, and it only lasted about 45 minutes or so. But that shows me that it's penetrating. There's something happening under the skin. It's working. So last time I did this, the 5th time, I got a little bit of redness right here in the center of my throat. So I'm going to put a barrier cream there and avoid that area tonight. And I'll film tonight when I put it on so you can see what I do. Also, I'm going to put a barrier around my eyes. Even though I'm not putting the Differin around my eyes, I have one little burny spot on my eyelid. I must have touched my eye, not knowing that I still had residue on it. So I'm going to be very careful around my eyes as well. Okay, I'm going to show you how I apply Differin to my dry, sensitive skin. I've washed my face, I used a soothing toner, and I'm going to do the next 2 steps in my skincare. So the first one is this watery lotion by Hada Labo, and it has hyaluronic acid and tranexamic acid, which helps with keeping my sun damage at bay so it doesn't get worse. Next step is the cornerstone of my skincare. It's the Hada Labo Gokujun Premium, which has 7 types of hyaluronic acid in it. It's a thicker serum, so all over my face and neck. And then I mentioned that I want to create a barrier around my eyes and on the front of my throat where I got a little bit red last time. So I'm going to go ahead and finish my skincare in those 2 areas. And then I'm going to use Differin Maximum Strength Diaper Cream as the barrier. Some people use Vaseline for this. I like to use Differin. It's full of zinc, so it's not only creating a barrier, but it's healing any damage that has been done to my skin. And I'm doing this, as I mentioned, even though I don't put the Differin around my eyes, I had a little burny, peely spot. I must have touched my hand, so I'm gonna try to be much more careful about washing my hands after I use the Differin. So I'm just making sort of a little mask. Very beautiful, right? And also on my neck. I'm using the Differin on my face 3 times a week. I may have to go to twice a week on my neck because it seems to be a little more sensitive. I just don't want to have extreme peeling. And I'll move a little bit of this. I do want the top of my cheeks to take advantage of the retinoids. Just don't want to get too close to the eyes. Okay, so I've got my barrier on, and now the difference. So I'm gonna take a half a pea size. I'm just using half of the suggested amount because my skin is sensitive and I don't want any damage. And I'm just gonna evenly apply it. So I put it on my hands and rub it in my fingers so that it goes on evenly. Tucking my lips under so I don't get any on my lips. And then I'm going to do, normally I do another half of a pea size, but since I'm skipping my neck, I'm just gonna do a little less than that and put that all over my chest. My chest seems to be fine with it. I will put it right under my chin. I'm gonna wash my hands and make sure I don't touch my eyes. Finish with the rest of my skincare. Mizon Snail Repair Intensive. I like this better than the Cosrx. I use a lot of Asian skincare because it is mostly moisturizers and it doesn't have all the harsh ingredients and acids that a lot of the Western skincare companies have. Although I find that's changing a little bit. They know what we like and they're giving us what we want. I just had the hardest time trying to find an eye cream that didn't have niacinamide or caffeine, which is also even in concealers and makeup now. Not everybody can put that on a couple times a day. I'm just going on top of that with my moisturizer. So I'm gonna let this sit for a while. All the skincare will drink in. Before I go to bed, I will probably have to add a few drops of my 11 Rose Vitamin E serum as a little extra moisture. In the morning, I'm gonna stand in front of my red light device for 10 minutes, which is very healing. It helps to more quickly heal any damage that may have occurred. And this is how I do it. So 3 times a week. Eventually, I will maybe work up to every other day. As I mentioned, my whole goal is no extreme peeling or redness. I don't want the appearance of a lot of damage. So if you're interested, keep watching. I'll keep updating you as I go along.